Today, as we celebrate and highlight some of Mr. Van Hecke's career accomplishments, you'll hear from family and friends about what kind of man Mr. Van Hecke is and why he deserves such a building dedicated to him. Chuck Van Hecke is a career educator, high school athletics director, and high school principal. He graduated from high school in Breesford, South Dakota, and earned his undergraduate degree from the University of South Dakota at Springfield, South Dakota, and holds a Master's of Education from Northwest Missouri State in Maryville, Missouri. Following his graduation from the University of South Dakota, Chuck served as a teacher and coach at several small schools in northwest Iowa. He taught biology, history, physical education, and coached football, basketball, and track. In 1974, he began his education administration career as the athletic director at Denison High School. 9 years later, in July of 1983, Chuck moved to Muscatine, where he served as the athletic director for more than 19 years. Chuck has received many awards, and his most humbling are 1997 Iowa High School Athletics Director of the Year, 1997 National High School Athletics Director of the Year, and 2002 National High School Athletic Director of the Year. In my early years of high school, I was fortunate to have several mentors who formed my vision of becoming a teacher and a coach. They were not only good coaches, they were also people of outstanding character, teaching student athletes to win with class and lose with dignity, display good sportsmanship, and to do the right thing in life, in the classroom and on the playing field. Now we'd like to share some words from former students, colleagues, and friends.
So I want to congratulate Chuck on an outstanding career, the greatest athletic director and administrator I ever worked for, and good luck in the future, Chuck. As you know, we all love him.
During my time here, Chuck Van Hecke was the athletic director. I think it's safe to say that Chuck leads Purple and Gold. He did a phenomenal job for so many people in this community. To say he cares about kids is an understatement. He put his heart and soul into this high school and making sure that student athletes and coaches had the necessary tools to succeed and thrive. I think it's important to state that he thought of kids as student athletes. They needed to be a student first and athlete second. He made sure that academics mattered, which is so important to kids today.
Chuck Van Hecke isn't a good guy or a great guy. I know a lot of those guys. Chuck Van Hecke is truly a legend. Good guys and great guys don't get their names on the outsides of buildings.
He impacted women's athletics in Muscatine High School in a tremendous way. He treated women's athletics exactly like he treated the men's athletics. And it was just a fantastic experience for me working with Chuck and working for Chuck, as he has been a great mentor for me, and I really appreciate it. And again, Chuck, thank you and congratulations.
Fort Dodge late last night. The game goes to the 7 scoreless. Finally, the Muskies break the tie when Mary Williamson tops the ball in front of the plate. A wild throw to first scores Jennifer Williams for a 1-0 Muskie lead. Williamson would later score on a single by Sarah Anderson. Muscatine shuts the door in the bottom of the 7th. Marcy Stockfleet with the finishing touch, recording the strikeout to let the celebration of a state championship begin.
Thanks to Mr. Van Hecke, I never really felt that I was a second-class athlete. I never really felt like I lived in a world that there was a difference between men's and women's athletics. I felt like he was always supportive of female athletes across the board. And I felt that since the moment I entered the Muscatine High School. Because of that, we were lucky to have a lot of success. There was a lot of people involved, but I truly believe that success starts with leadership. It starts at the top, and Chuck did that for us. And I really love him and appreciate him for that.
Chuck Van Hecke is by far the person that influenced my coaching career, and his dedication to the kids, his dedication to the program, our whole athletic program was based on what Chuck's beliefs were, and the dedication that he put in, the time he put in, and what a great honor for a great man. I can't be more proud of the time I was here, and working for Chuck Van Hecke was a true pleasure. He was by far my best boss, and everything we did in baseball was based on what he was able to help me with during that period of time. Congratulations, Chuck, and it's a well-deserved honor.
When I want to reflect and think about Mr. Van Hecke and the impact that he's had on my life, I think of somebody who's not just a great athletic director, but somebody who's an awesome family friend for us. When I think about the impact that Mr. Van Hecke had on my life, I think of the thousands of hours that he put in during the 3 sports that I was at the high school. He was always there to make sure that everything went smoothly and that Muscatine was represented really well.
Chuck is a very special part of our community, not only our high school, but our community and the state as well. I think some of the things that Chuck does you don't appreciate until later on in life, especially as an educator and as a coach.
And I will say that after all these years, I retired in 10 years in 2002. I still am very proud to say that I work for Chuck Van Hecke.
The thing about Chuck, he always respected you as a person. He was always there for you. I also was a tennis player throughout my high school career, and tennis isn't a sport that gets a whole lot of notoriety, but you would always see Chuck there watching the matches and cheering you on. He always had the kids' interests at heart.
Josh Miller, 92-95, I played basketball and baseball. Just want to say congratulations, Chuck, with the new weight room.
2011, Chuck had already retired as the athletic director. He had retired, I think, around 2005 or 6. And we won the state swim meet. And the next Monday or Tuesday, somebody came up to me and said, well, who was the first school person to congratulate you after you won the state meet? That lit the light bulb. It was Chuck Van Hecke. Here he was retired for 5 or 6 years already. He came out, and I think he was at every state championship that we had. We were fortunate to win 2011, 12, 13. So.
I would like to say congratulations to Mr. Van Hecke. He was inspiration to not only myself, but countless other student athletes that came through Muscatine High School over the last 30 years. His legacy with this building and facility will live on forever, and there's no better fitting for a person to have that happen to him than Chuck. So we're really happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Van Hecke, for all the wonderful things that you've done for this community and MHS. This building could not be dedicated to a more worthy person. Thanks for everything. And as always, go Muskies.
We greatly appreciate everyone taking the time to attend this dedication for Chuck, and just to let him know how much he means to all of us and to this community. We have several people to appreciate and to acknowledge that have made a contribution to this video and to many memories that have been shared about Chuck. We'd like to say thank you to Gail Van Hecke, Connie Minnick, Jerry Teal, Brett Olson, Brian Musell, Denny Schur, Sarah Anderson, Bob Leach, Katie Morgan Herrig, Brandon Welsh, Cheryl Morgan, Matt Koss, Josh Miller, Judd Anderson, Chris Nienhaus, Randy Gertz, Jesse Cueros, and Tony Tone. We thank you so much for being here and for allowing all of these memories to be openly shared with everyone. This is a wonderful facility, and it's named and dedicated by a wonderful man. Thank you, Chuck, for being a Muskie through and through, and thank you all for attending this wonderful dedication to this wonderful man and a legacy that will live on in Muskie history.